1980, I was fortunate to be one of the fiddlers at the inaugural concert of the Scottish Fiddle Orchestra in Aberdeen. Such was the rapturous reception and almost electric atmosphere that we decided to establish a fiddle orchestra for young Ayrshire players, the Ayrshire Junior Fiddle Orchestra. The first rehearsal was on 23rd of October in 1982, and at the first public performance at the Christmas concert in Craigie College, around 50 players were conducted with the late inspirational John Mason. The first Arran weekend in 1985 was followed by the first foreign trip to Saint-Germain-en-Laye in 1986.
Hi there, I'm Elaine. I was in AFO from 2001 to 2009, went on tours to USA 05, Canada, America 07 and China 09, where I led the cello section in the latter two of those tours. My main AFO highlight was getting to perform the Perro cello solo in so many beautiful venues around the world. It was a gorgeous piece that I had the honour to perform so many times, and it always gave me chills. And since then, I think AFO's legacy will be the lifelong friendships that you're able to make. For me, there was a close group of 5 of us who bonded over all the tours, rehearsals, small groups over the years, and we're all super close now that even we've entered our 30s, so that's always something that's really special. So thanks to AFO for all the memories and opportunities.
In 1986, I was the medic on the very first international trip for the Ayrshire Junior Fiddle Orchestra to Saint-Germain-en-Laye in France. There were 49 excited children and 5 adults. The weather was very hot. Incidents included nosebleed, swollen ankles, fainting, sunburn, and lots of walking carrying heavy instruments. We visited Paris, Eiffel Tower, Notre Dame and Sacré-Cœur. Many concerts all appreciated, and one in particular was for the elderly, 50 people aged 90 plus. Included a beautiful lunch under 2 gorgeous trees. The brie and bread were delicious, and a very successful trip for the Irish folk.
Hi, we're Christy and Stuart, and it's really hard to narrow our memories of AFO down to such a short clip, but we are forever grateful for the once-in-a-lifetime opportunities that AFO has given us, from trips to the Great Wall of China to safaris in South Africa and everything in between. We really have created memories that will last a lifetime.
We obviously met in AFO and have been together over 10 years now. We're married and we've got a gorgeous baby girl who's just turned 1, and we've got AFO to thank for that as well.
We're really looking forward to bringing the wee one along, hopefully it's our first rehearsal in years to come.
I'm Alex, just joined the Ayrshire Fiddle Orchestra, playing drums, learning from Nathan McGregor. I'm excited to meet new people, go on tour and play music.
I'm Mary Stewart and I play the violin. I've just joined the orchestra. I'm excited to meet new people and have fun playing music. My sister has already joined the orchestra and has been playing in it for 3 years, and I really want to have fun playing with her and me.
Hi, I'm Josh Beresford. I've just joined the orchestra and I play the drums. I've met Nathan and Gregor. I'm excited to go on tour and meet new people.
Alistair McCulloch here. I was a founding member of AFO and played with the orchestra from 82 until 95. During that time I went on 6 international tours. I became musical director in 2003, a post I held for 9 years, and highlights included tours to China, Australia and New Zealand. I have composed and arranged over 100 pieces of music for the orchestra. I also have great memories of Innovation, an offshoot of AFO featuring many of the talented senior players, and we played at some of the major Scottish festivals such as Celtic Connections and Spayfest. Being part of AFO at a young age ignited in me a lifelong passion for traditional music, and I've been very lucky to make a career doing something I love. Happy birthday, AFO!
Hi, my name's Luke and I joined the orchestra in 2015 just before the South Africa tour. This meant I couldn't go, however I participated in all of the tours since, and I was part of the 2019 Burns Supper at 10 Downing Street. I enjoyed the concerts of the 2019 Japan tour thoroughly, and I've got a special memory of inspecting my cello just after arriving at the airport in Tokyo and finding the bridge, which is the wooden bit that supports the strings, had snapped in half. Kathleen helped me get some glue at Akihabara station, and we glued it together at the hotel, which left it at a slight angle. Thankfully the bridge lasted throughout the tour and I've kept it as a souvenir since.
Saturday 1st July 1989 I was appointed European Tour cameraman by Wallace. I remember the riverless canoeing experience in Belgium, Swiss underground bomb shelter accommodation, 200th anniversary of Bastille Day in Saint-Germain, Sea Hat, Canada 91, Lake Louise, Calgary Stampede, Big Dipper clutching VHS camera, Scandinavia 93, Norwegian hospitality, prawn shelling, Viking Museum, America 95, White House and Capitol building, whale watching, legacy, sore shoulder and editing nightmares. Wallace, it was well worth it. Thanks for the memories.
Joining AFO was one of the best experiences of my entire life. For the past 7 years, I've gotten to travel the world and go away with some of my best friends. At AFO, I've made lifelong friends here and away. At break time, at AFO rehearsals, we get to go away to Sainsbury's, which is always good fun, and we get to catch up and see how each other are, if we haven't seen each other. The friendliness and the jokes we have at AFO means that we're just one big community, we're one big family, and I absolutely love it, because when we go away on tour, it just makes us all like that much closer. My favourite memory on tour in Japan was when me and my friends ended up frying our salad instead of our food.
Congratulations on 40 years of beautiful music and friendship. My memories began in 1999 when I first met Wallace Galbraith, and you came to America and we had the signing of the Sister City with Air. 2 more world tours to America followed that strengthened our bonds of friendship and created lifelong relationships that endure today. 25 years of our ties that bind will be celebrated in July. Your music transcends the miles and the years. We celebrate with you. See you next in America.
I've been part of the AFO family for 21 years, starting right at the back of the second violins. AFO kept me playing the violin, it kept going to my violin lessons so that I could go to AFO, and that's what got me really interested in fiddle music. If it wasn't for AFO, I wouldn't have studied music, I wouldn't be a music teacher, and I wouldn't be part of the AFO family. Being MD is such a huge privilege, and I get to shape the orchestra of the music, keeping our traditions of playing fiddle music but also other things like Star Wars, Minder, Howard's Way. I really enjoy getting music from some of the countries that we go and visit, like Quella from South Africa, as well as some of the pieces from Japan. Our music's not stuck in the past, and we love to play new music along with all our old favourites.
All 4 of our children were members of AFO, so from the early 90s to about 2006, Paul and I were parent helpers. The 2001 tour to North America was a wonderful experience. Great weather, amazing sightseeing, fantastic concerts, so much fun and so many laughs. When 3 adult couples share a triple bunk room in a youth hostel for 3 nights, you get to know one another extremely well. We made friends for life. Here's to the next 40.
Hi, I'm Blair McMeekin, former leader of the percussion section. I've currently just left AFO. Tonight was my last concert after the summer concert. I've been in AFO for the past 10 years. I started off and I was a little drummer boy. And over the past 10 years with AFO, not only have I made great friendships, but I've been part of a family and inside a better community. Not only that's helped me as a person, but it's improved my playing from when I first started into the kind of percussionist and drummer I am today. So it's definitely something good to be involved in.
Hi, I'm Rachel.
And I'm Sylvia.
We are sisters. We're both former leaders of the Ayrshire Fiddle Orchestra.
And together we've been in the orchestra for a total of 15 years combined.
Looking back, being a member of the Ayrshire Fiddle Orchestra gave me the opportunity to travel to so many places at such a young age, spanning all the way from Los Angeles to China and Hong Kong. I made so many memories along the way that I will cherish forever. From things like learning to swing dance on my host family's front lawn in Vandalia, to simpler things like all of the spontaneous long bus journey sing-alongs and all of the emotional tour folder signing moments. Not forgetting the music, I think all of the AFO tunes will hold a special part in my brain forever, and I wouldn't have it any other way.
Being a part of AFO holds so many memories for me, from fundraising events like abseiling and ziplining, to Kaylee's, concerts, Christmas fairs and COVID Zoom quizzes which we won. I can't wait to go on tour next year to the southern states of America with all my friends and make so many more amazing memories.
Thanks, AFO!
You've been amazing!
Wow, 40 years. I'll never forget how I discovered the AFO. In 1987, I was the newly appointed director of the Calgary Fiddlers, and they wanted to go to Scotland. I wrote 50 letters to various organizations and tourist boards in Scotland, and I got 3 back. Thankfully, one of them was from Walsingham from the AFO, saying, "Why don't you come and do a cultural exchange with us and a concert in the Ayr Town Hall?" Needless to say, it was the start of a very long friendship. Congratulations on 40 years, and I hope the season ahead is a good one.
Hi everybody, Blair here. My fondest memories of the Fiddle Orchestra involve the overseas tours and the great concerts that we put on. I was lucky enough to go on quite a few tours, my first one being the European one in 1989. I remember a brilliant concert we did, which I think was the 20th anniversary concert. We invited all the old members along for a concert in Ayr, and I got to conduct alongside Alistair McCulloch, Walsingham and John Mason, who founded the Scottish Fiddle Orchestra, of which I'm now the conductor and the musical director. If it wasn't for John and in particular Wallace, I wouldn't be involved professionally in a musical sense and doing what I do. So thanks for the last 40 years, and here's the next 40. Cheers.
Hi, my name is Mia Walsingham. There are so many things I could say about my time at AFO, but some highlights from my year as leader were definitely going to London and Japan. I got the amazing chance to lead the first group that were asked to play the Prime Minister Burn Supper in 10 Downing Street. When we were there, we were invited to listen to the Foreign Minister's questions, where we heard them talk about the coronavirus before it was a thing. And I remember coming out and Lucy saying, "Well, if this becomes something, at least we heard it here first." And well, we all know how that one turned out. Going to Japan wasn't just a highlight of my time at AFO, but probably my violin career as a whole. I got the amazing opportunity to perform Harry McFarlane's beautiful music in Hiroshima Peace Memorial Park, and it's a day I will never forget.
Looking through the programmes of the Ayrshire Junior Fiddle Orchestra, as it was known in its early days, brings back many memories of Lex and Wallace, moulding a group of players from all over Ayrshire, many complete strangers to each other, but enthusiastic to play Scottish music. My interest in recording the early days were on audio tape, later leading to video recording. Looking back, the problems were not only with poor lighting for the equipment of the day, but the size and complexity of the VHS video recorders that can be seen looking at this camera. However, I find the early video recordings fascinating in the quality of orchestral discipline and the music sound.
I've been part of the orchestra for 5 years now, and I've had the opportunity to go on 2 tours. In 2018 I went to Barcelona and we got to stay with the host family, which was just amazing because we got to meet a whole family from a completely different culture. We also got to play in the Sagrada Familia, which was a brilliant experience. In 2019 I got to go to Japan, which was so much fun. I loved it all, but I think my favourite part was going to Kyoto and getting to see everyone in their kimonos and just seeing a bit more of a traditional side to the Japanese culture. So in AFO I've met some incredible people and made some lifelong friends.
I'm mum of David, the current musical director, and Andrew, a former lead percussionist. I remember David's first Christmas concert in 2001, positioned high in the choir stalls in Ayr Town Hall with the other new starts. Years later, I watched a conducting signal from David, a confirming nod from Andrew, then a special rhythm on the drums or sequence on his many cymbals. I helped with the organisation of the 25th anniversary concert in Glasgow City Hall, learning more about the running of the orchestra and the massive dedication of the directors and parent support. I contacted former players, emails being used for the first time, no more A4 envelopes at rehearsals.
The Ayrshire Fiddle Orchestra really is a family, and there are so many phenomenal memories I'm very grateful to have. I think the overseas tours are probably the strongest memories and the greatest friendships that have been formed for me in my life. And I think 1989 in particular, when we did our European tour, was something a bit different for all of us. But the greatest tradition that came out of that tour, I believe, was the AFO Awards. I was glad to be the very first recipient of Mr. Romeo, defended my title in 1991 and was robbed in 1993. Orchestra, it's the friendships, it's the travel, it's the bond, it's the family. Happy 40.
AFO was such a massive part of both of our lives growing up. It's how we met, it's how we got together, and we were so fortunate to experience so many opportunities with AFO throughout the years.
Trips to Biggar, to Arran, to Poppleton,
all the tours we managed to get on, China, New Zealand, Australia, America, Canada.
Even the occasional wild Friday night in a church hall. We've made so many friendships that have lasted a lifetime. Shout out to the famous five, and we're still planning weekends away together with an itinerary that would make Athol proud.
A massive thank you to Mr. G for making all this happen. Happy birthday, Athol.
We love you lots.
As parent helpers, we ran the toy stall at the Christmas fair for many years, gleefully selling 4-foot teddies to the children of unsuspecting parents. Being a parent helper not only meant having to deal with the players, but having to deal with Wallace. When the phone rang at 6:45 a.m, I knew it would be Wallace at the end of the line. When any of our children were unavailable to play in a concert, we used to draw straws to see who would let him know and brave the wrath of Mr. G.
One of my favourite Athol memories was on my first overseas tour to Canada in 1988, and the hosts we stayed at in Owen Sound stayed on lake. They took us water skiing on our free afternoon. Needless to say, I think I managed to stay upright for no more than 5 seconds, but it was great fun. To meet the other Athol players to get a lift to the concert at night, they took us on their powerboat. 34 years later, we still exchange Christmas cards every year.
Hi, Anne here. What can I say about the AFO? An absolute privilege and honour to have been part of it. I did 5 international tours and 1 tour to Skye. What can I say about them? Too many memories to mention just one. But we had a family affair as Blair, Lisa, Albert and I went on some tours at the same time. See you all in December, and I can tell a few memories there. So beware, players, beware. Bye.
My first memories are of Athol. My tour life starting as a 5-year-old mascot travelling to America in 2011 where I lost my first tooth. Ireland in 2012 playing hide and seek, then Italy in 2012 and 14 where I wrote stories with the seniors. The Europe tour in 2013, then South Africa in 2015. My first tour as a player in 2017 to America, Spain in 2018, Japan in 2019. Now to my last tour as leader to America in 2023. I've seen Athol change over the years and had such a privilege to travel to all these amazing places with equally amazing people. Athol brought me up, taught me how to ceilidh and play cards, and truly made me who I am. I hope I make you proud, so thank you and happy birthday, Athol.
What does Athol mean to me? Amazing memories, friendships for life and once in a lifetime opportunities. From my first rehearsal where I almost managed to play 5 notes in my big cornet bonnet, to trips to Arran and the youth hostel and then onto the caravan park, and then the amazing tours from a slightly rainy Portree to Europe, and my favourite, our trips to Canada in 88 and 91, where we visited Toronto, Banff and took part in the amazing Calgary Stampede with a particularly memorable Stampede breakfast.
So Calum, how has Athol changed your life?
Athol is my life. Is not minors. Athol has introduced me to so many of my friends. Everyone on this bus, everyone on the other bus, everyone on generations of people. I've had so many amazing memories. Everything, all my chats about Athol, about tours away, filled my Saturday afternoon every day for the past 8 years. It's helped me musically. I don't know, it's kind of helped me. It's changed my life. Completely. It is my life.
So Louise, 40 years at the Fiddle Orchestra. I know, my goodness, we had some good times, didn't we? All those concerts and trips and tours.
Exactly, no, we stayed in some great places. But I think one of the most unusual one was the nuclear fallout bunker in Geneva.
Oh yes, my goodness. Those bunks that were like shelves, and the showers inside the front door, the decontamination showers.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah.
But, you know, I think we've got the Fiddle Orchestra to thank for our friendship, which continued through the different secondary schools we went to.
Yeah, absolutely. And here we are 40 years later. So here's to the next 40 years of the Fiddle Orchestra and our friendship.
My greatest memories of AFO are from the 2005 and 2007 North American tours when we were part of the supervising P unit. The fantastic response the orchestra received made every concert unique in some spectacular venues, from the fabulous Banff Springs Hotel to St. Pete's Beach in Florida and many in between. Special mention to Douglas Gibson for the Burns Shoe, to the crew at the back of Coach 1 for the Sweat Song, and to everyone for making the LA Tour Awards rival the Oscar ceremony. It was amazing to see wide-eyed children turn into confident, talented young adults in the nurturing environment the orchestra creates. The friendships they formed will last a lifetime. And finally to Grand Central Station for having the most welcoming facilities at a very crucial time.
I was a member of the Ayrshire Junior Fiddle Orchestra from 1988 to 1996. I know, I've aged well. And also I was a founding member of the Fox Club, which is the Fiddle Orchestra ex-members club. And every year in the 90s we would meet at Christmas to reminisce and catch up. However, you know, as we got older it came to a natural end, and so we commissioned a Fox Club trophy as a legacy. This trophy is presented to the winner of the Scots Fiddle Open competition at the Ayrshire Music Festival.
Ayrshire Fiddle Orchestra in 40 seconds. The first word to use was, it was fun. Saturday afternoon rehearsals were never a burden. I made a lot of friends. Developed the ability to get changed anywhere on a bus. Didn't matter, we didn't always have changing rooms. The tours were an absolute highlight. Wearing a kilt in 40 degrees heat in America, but then also being up at midnight in Norway and the sun being high in the sky. I remember the 24-hour play-ins. They were, looking back, horrendous, but at the time it was really, really fun. Yeah, I'm delighted Fiddle Orchestra is still going 40 years later. Congratulations.
Hi, my name is Kirsty and I played violin in the Fiddle Orchestra from 1987 until 1993. During that time I toured Canada twice, did a tour of Scandinavia and also the European tour, which included Belgium, Switzerland, France and Germany. Made lots of lovely lifelong friends along the way, and I think the most memorable occasion that keeps sticking out with myself and all of our friends is the canoeing incident down the River Less. Nice gentle canoe at the start of the day, and then 4 hours later we found ourselves in the middle of a thunder and lightning storm on the River Less. But we all survived to tell the tale and continue to talk about it to this day.
When Kathleen first mentioned about doing a video of 40 seconds about a memory from AFO, my mind was taken straight away to a concert some 10-15 years ago that we were involved with in St Margaret's Cathedral in Ayr. The worst possible weather on a Friday night, the wind was howling, the rain was going straight across, not down but across, and we were being visited by friends from the Northumbrian Ranters. But although we outnumbered the audience, maybe 5-1, we had such a wonderful evening of music making, the joy of sharing that music, and that, perhaps, is one of the things that AFO means to me.
Hello, I'm Joe Cherry and I was in the orchestra from 2007 to 2013 and have loads of amazing memories from tours and concerts across the world and some great friends as well. But a particular highlight I think was in the 2013 European tour, for which I composed a tune called the Higgs Boson, and this was arranged and then performed by the orchestra at the Large Hadron Collider at CERN in Geneva, which is an absolutely amazing concert and experience to perform that with the orchestra there, and received a huge standing ovation by all the scientists and physicists in the room, and was a memory I'll never forget. It was fantastic. Yeah, thanks.
I joined the orchestra in 1995 and I was a leader in 2003. The orchestra provided me with the opportunity to see so many places in the world, such as Canada, America, Australia and New Zealand. Another one of my definite highlights was the annual trip to Poppleton in York. We got the chance to play in York Minster. We would have a concert followed by a ceilidh, and then on the way home we would stop at Lightwater Valley Theme Park, which at that time was home to the world's longest roller coaster. I've made lifelong friends through the Fiddle Orchestra, and I'll be forever grateful for the opportunities that it's provided me with.
July 2003 saw the AFO off to New Zealand and Australia, which of course was their winter time. There were plenty of flights, all safely negotiated, except for one time when I and 3 members nearly got lost at Brisbane Airport. Apart from concerts at Auckland, Melbourne, Canberra and Sydney, there was plenty of time for sightseeing, including spending the night all together in a Maori community hall, a tour of the Sydney Opera House, a trip to the Great Barrier Reef, and even trying out some kangaroo steaks. As for the tour parents, they witnessed some unforgettable moments within the group, but as they say, what happens on tour stays on tour.
Amazing! 1982 to 2022, 40 years of music making, friendship and travel. With well over 1,000 players, 15 countries, 19 international tours, the Ayrshire Fiddle Orchestra have Wallace and Legs to thank for their vision and inspiration, along with the many dedicated, committed parents over the 40 years to help fulfil the potential of this wonderful orchestra.
And looking beyond the first 40 years, our plans for the year ahead include another Westminster trip in January, our exciting Southern States tour to the USA next July, as well as welcoming the next generation of players and parents into the AFO family. And who knows what international adventures AFO will explore in the future.